a very exciting show set to go for you today. As always, I'm joined by Gaven Tony. It's Friday, so we're back together. Same place, same mic, different cameras though. But Gavin, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, ladies and gentlemen. The Phillies did not disappoint me yesterday. They won. Pay the man. Pay JT. Sixers, on the other hand, for those who may have been, I saw yesterday's show, my own mom had the nerve to, like, what did she say? Believe in the process still?
Trust the process.
Trust the process still when Ben Simmons got hurt. So it's a little hard to believe in that right now. But yeah, I'm still suing MLB the show. But all in all, I'm doing great, Zach. How you doing?
Pay the man. JT's the only guy. But him and Didi right now. I'm seeing them as my two favorites for the Phillies. We're gonna break all that down and more in just a little bit. But we are gonna start off today's show talking about the NBA. We have a lot of exciting things to go over here with the team. But starting off specifically, Gavin, what happened last night? The Lakers and the Rockets played. We knew that Russell Westbrook for the Rockets was not going to play, and also LeBron James wasn't going to play. So it's not excuses for either side, win or loss. But the Rockets very handily won that game. Anthony Davis in 30 minutes at 17 points. Are the Lakers lost without LeBron?
Yes. And for all you Lakers fans, I'm speaking to you. There's trouble in paradise. I just want you guys to know that, because technically in the bubble, you guys only technically won one game. You guys should have lost to the Clippers, arguably. You guys should have lost, other games, and then you guys
lost to the Raptors.
You lost to the Raptors, and you lost last night. Arguably, you could say LeBron James, but it doesn't matter. Anthony Davis is still a superstar. There's trouble in paradise, my guys. You guys look beatable. You guys don't look as scary as everyone makes you come out and sing as. Zach, are you afraid of the Lakers? Because I'm not. They seem I don't want to say mediocre because that's not the word. But if you go in there and everybody's hitting their shots and playing a hard-fought game, you can beat the Lakers. Anthony Davis did not look that great without LeBron James. And when LeBron James is there, he hasn't looked that great in the bubble since either. I know LeBron, sent assists and points or so there, but he's gone missing a lot. AD's been the leading scorer. Zach, is there trouble in paradise?
What's new? LeBron James is the only reason these teams are as good as they are. But as I digress with that conversation, which will continue in the future, Gavin. But Anthony Davis coming up short is nothing new as a team player. There's a reason that him and LeBron go so well together, because Davis just has to score. Get some board, score, and play good defense. LeBron can handle the rest. And so LeBron's known to elevate his team. He's known to elevate his teammates. We know about that. We knew this team wasn't that great. I mean, even when you have Rajon Rondo there and Avery Bradley, these aren't superstars. These aren't great pieces to go around him. LeBron's just been able to really facilitate and work this year. This isn't a good team on paper. You still have two superstars, but that's not enough. Look at the Clippers, and they have a worse record than them. The Clippers are like the perfect team, besides the Celtics, obviously. But as far as like perfect positionally, I mean, you have Paul George as a guard. You have Kawhi. You have Marcus Morris, who's a really good player, in my opinion. You have a great defense and a great bench, a great coaching staff. They're like the Baltimore Ravens of the NBA, and so they should come up big in the playoffs for this team. But getting back to the Lakers, of course the Lakers are also out without LeBron. What's Anthony Davis ever done? Yes, Anthony Davis is a superstar. Don't get me wrong. But is he a team player? Is he able to do what he needs to? Yeah, the Pelicans went to the playoffs. They didn't have much success with AD there. If AD can get 30 and 10 every night, or 25 and 10 every night, and he can get 2 or 3 blocks and just be the defender that he is, possibly the defensive player of the year, LeBron can do the rest. Danny Green can make a few big shots for you. JaVale McGee can get some blocks. That's how that team's meant to be. That's why this duo works so well. Gavin, think about the Cleveland Cavaliers, the 2016 team. I know as a Warriors fan, it hurts to hear this, but LeBron didn't make the go-ahead shot. That was Kyrie Irving. Counting on your other superstars is important, and that's what this team does. They're too dependent on LeBron, which is fine for the playoffs. I think they're going to have success being dependent on him. It's worked before. But last night, yes, they look very lost because they don't have LeBron James.
Well, Zach, you talk about 2016, my least favorite year as a basketball fan. Yeah, I'm not even going to go into that.
Most consider it one of the best years of all time.
You would say that. I guess what, I totally disagree with you 100%. I just want to let you know that. So, having said all that, you talk about the Clippers. We talk about the Celtics. We talk about, you also put another, I think, arguably complete team, maybe the Raptors. They have a great bench, though. This team doesn't have a bench. The Lakers bench is a whole bunch of what-ifs. Like, what if J.R. Smith can do what he did? What if
Deion
Waiters came off the bench and did this? What if Alex Caruso dropped 30 points? That's a lot of what ifs. Like I said, they got a whole bunch of yes, like a yes, please. Like, they answer to LeBron. When LeBron's out there, they answer AD. AD's like, I don't know. Kuzma was the highest scorer last night. Kyle Kuzma, a guy that's not having the best season, was the highest scorer. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And then now let's go back to it. Zach, this team is beatable. Really, really beatable. I think people don't want to admit that, but it's beatable. Like you can beat this team in a 7-game series. Maybe I'm not saying a sweep because I'm definitely not saying, but in a 7-game series, you could totally beat this team. So Zach, do you still pick? All right, so who's your favorite coming out the West then? Because LeBron's obviously gonna miss time some games with his old age.
No, I'm not counting out playoff LeBron. It's playoff LeBron versus playoff Kawhi. Which one can lead their team better? Because Paul George also goes quiet in the playoffs. Him and Anthony Davis, it's similar stories. Kawhi and LeBron, very similar stories to each other. Putting your team on the back when it matters the most. I do want to read off the box score here from last night. You do have the starting lineup was Quinn Cook, Danny Green, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, and Anthony Davis. Davis had 17 and 12. Kuzma had 21 and 5. Danny Green, 10 points. That's what he's supposed to do. Looking at the bench, they didn't do much last night. Morris had 3. Not really much going on last night. Jarrett Smith had 2 in 12 minutes. So not a great night for that team overall. And they only put up 97 points. But the Rockets only put up 113, Gavin. They're a high-scoring team, even without Russell Westbrook. And they had a couple of guys I want to read off here as well. House had 14 points. Without a shocker, James Harden still casually drops 40 points. McLemore had 20, so they still put up some points, but their bench only had 26 points. So I guess the Lakers' defense still kind of held it together there. Their offense just wasn't productive. It's really dysfunctional without LeBron James being there. But the last night is more about how potentially powerful the Rockets are, even with their small ball lineup, versus teams like the Lakers, where they feel like they have to push the ball through their big men. But it turns out that they're doing a good job with that, and this might potentially be the answer for the Rockets. They're the 6th seed when we started back up to the 4th seed. Potentially, you're going to be able to get the 3 seed. They're a game and a half back. So I like where the Rockets are going, even without Russell Westbrook last night, and they're going to be a fun team to watch. But tracing it back here to the Lakers, it's going to be how much LeBron can do. And once again, he'll have to carry the load. And it's the West. It's not easy. So if he gets to the finals, this really looks good for a guy like LeBron James, especially after seeing the team last night without him.
Well, I will just say, we criticized small ball earlier in the year off the show. In our club, we criticized the small ball. We said it wasn't going to work. The reason why small ball works now is because of reason like that. PJ Tucker is just center, right? He's a small center. What do? He stands on 3-point line. What does that do? That takes it to JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, or Rudy Gobert. That takes them where?
Outside the paint.
And what does that leave open? Russell Westbrook can drive in and does what he does best, which is finish. What else does that leave, Zach? That leaves spacing for James Harden to do his 20-step journey.
He keeps isolations alive.
Isolation a lot. And then if Eric Gordon is there and hitting his shots, this team is really scary in the playoffs. Now, arguably, you got 2 of the most guys that can't perform well in the playoffs, or ends up going to mission. I think if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt the 1 year, I don't think the Warriors go to the finals. I think the Rockets go. If the Thunder don't blow the 3-1 lead, they go back to the finals with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook with Billy Donovan as the head coach. But things happen for a reason. Who knows if Damian Lillard doesn't hit this shot? Is Paul George and Russell Westbrook, do they go all the way? Are they still a team? Are they still a team together? Are they teammates? We don't know. But this might be the best thing to happen for Houston is having these two land together and play together because they also like each other. They also work well with one another. One person gets to shine every night, or they can share it.
They've both had 30-point plus games. Westbrook still getting his triple doubles. I like what I see there, definitely.
I think this is and well done. I don't think Mike D'Antoni's coach of the year for that, but hey, you never know. I think my coach of the candidate goes to Nick Nurse. I think Nick Nurse deserves it, but it's not a Nick Nurse party. It's a Rockets party. So Zach, this is going to be a scary team in the West to look at. They're not an easy team, especially if you have a center. You talk about Nikola Jokic. You talk about Bol, Rudy Gobert. The list goes on. Okay, Zubac, Harrell. Like these guys are going to bring these guys out of coach just so Russell Westbrook can go in there. And arguably, when PJ Tucker's not in there, Russell Westbrook will still go in on your center. It doesn't matter.
They'll still beat him.
Exactly.
It's gonna be a fun thing to watch. I can see them potentially going all the way to the semifinals, potentially the conference final, if they can find a way to knock an LA team off, or if someone else does. The Blazers are looking pretty good. We're gonna get to that and more in a minute. You go ahead, Gavin.
There's a team I want to put on alert. They haven't lost in the bubble yet. The Phoenix Suns are gaining speed. They're getting speed.
They're looking good.
They're looking good.
And so going back here to the Lakers, I do want to read off the Pelicans in New Orleans against the Lakers. Anthony Davis did not play. The Lakers won 122 to 114. LeBron James, 36 minutes, 12 rebounds, 13 assists, 34 points. Second highest scorer was Kuzma at 20. Other than that, same story as last night, but LeBron James was in instead of Anthony Davis. So this is LeBron's team. It's not AD's team. I don't want anyone telling me that AD is going to be the guy that brings them there. But if LeBron's in and takes that stress off Anthony Davis, it's going to be potentially a dangerous scene moving forward. But Gavin, you're still taking the Clippers, I assume.
Of course I'm going to take the Clippers for one, because all the Lakers fans I know irritate me, okay? Every Lakers fan I know irritates me in some way because it's like, oh, LeBron, we're going to the championship. Excuse me, the Western Conference is the best conference in all NBA. Every team is no slouch. And by the way, like I say, we should label this segment Trouble in Paradise. Because every time the Lakers lose, I'm going to say it's trouble in paradise. Because you guys make it seem it's always easy, but you guys keep losing. The Clippers are the best team in the West. I still believe in that. Best well-rounded team, I should say.
Yeah, no, we'll have to see what happens. So anything else you want to say on this point, Gavin, with either the Rockets or the Lakers?
Watch out for the Rockets, man. Just watch out. Dangerous guard play. Great attacking the post. Great shooting. Watch out for the Rockets, man. Watch out for them.
All right, so now let's get to it, Gavin. This is a question that has been circulating around Twitter the past few days about bubble awards. Now, these aren't real, but it's definitely fun to speculate on. Bubble MVP so far. We have guys like TJ Warren averaging 30-plus points right now. Devin Booker is going off a lot for his team. Let me ask you this question, though.
Wait a minute. Who's TJ Warren?
The guy who dropped 53.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. I got it.
So who's your bubble MVP, Gavin?
It's between Devin Booker and Joel Embiid. But I got to go D-Book. And the reason why I go D-Book is his team's 4-0. His team's 4-0. Okay, he doesn't have the highest average that goes to a guy I never heard of, TJ Warren, who has the highest average in the bubble. But look, Zach, you can't ignore what Devin Booker's done. They're 4-0. They've beaten some great teams. He had a game winner versus the Clippers, and arguably they missed a game winner. They don't win that. As our friend Matt says, D-Book the GOAT. That might be a little too far-fetched, but if there's a bubble MVP, it's totally Devin Booker.
It's a good one.
You can't go Joel Embiid as well.
I mean, Joel Embiid's an interesting argument. He's definitely playing like he wants to be there. We'll have to touch on that and more in a little bit. But I do have one who I've really thought of. We talk about a lot on the show, whether it's for some of the issues that we speak about and have these uncomfortable conversations of putting your money where your mouth is, being able to talk, but also being able to do your job. And so there's a player in the league who reminds me that, not necessarily on the social justice reform, but more on just his play. We call this a Damian Lillard expedition because he's doing this that I want a legit chance of making the playoffs. Well, he got it. And guess what, Gavin? They're probably going to make the playoffs. He's playing phenomenal right now. He's not carrying his team. He has a great supporting role, but he's doing his job. He's getting the assists. He's scoring all the big buckets for them. He made 11 threes last night. He beat the Denver Nuggets. They're scary. They're really if they have a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. Again, I believe we were talking about this with hockey last week. It's not about who starts the season hot. It's about how you finish the season. If you're finishing the season hot, you can do really well in the playoffs. Gavin, there's no home teams technically. You have a little bit of sound from these little zooms that are on the side, but they're nothing compared.
That's so stupid, by the way.
There's nothing. It's nothing compared to that. So the 8 seed versus the 1 seed, it doesn't mean anything. If Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers are hot and Nurkic is playing well, and you have guys off the bench coming on doing really well, then Gavin, I think Damian Lillard is my choice for the bubble MVP.
Well, Philly said they didn't put the starters in for the second half, pretty much, to be fair. Okay, and so. But talk about Damian Lillard. Talk about Damian Lillard. This is a Damian Lillard expedition. The Damian Lillard challenge. Zach, whenever you want to go, we can put that on a T-shirt. I don't know.
It'll be live this afternoon. We're going to design it after the show.
Yeah. But look, Damian Lillard they have ups and downs already in the bubble. They lost a game, and then they kind of been on the hot streak ever since. Like Damian Lillard had 11 threes. All right, you're not better than Steph Curry when it comes to shoot threes, but guess what?
Still the best healthy point guard in the league right now.
You can't be ignored, exactly. I can't ignore you. I try, but I can't. But look, Zach, I get it. Damian Lillard could be the bubble MVP, but you can't ignore Devin Booker, a guy that, remember, he was brought there as a team that's supposed to ruin your day. They were actually supposed to be making real noise. Zach, they're making real noise. You can't ignore their noise.
I'm pulling up the standings right now, seeing how far out they are.
They're right behind. They're right on Portland's behind. Like John Moran, if you lose today, or
They're 1.5 games back. They are very much in it.
exactly. And Zion and the Pelicans fell back. The Spurs cooled off like we always expected. And then the Kings are doing King things.
The Kings actually played pretty well yesterday.
They did, but they're not. They're like I said, the teams that are making noise right now are the teams that are coming for John Moran. Ja, I defended you. You lost a player. I can't do it no more.
They're gonna have their chance. So if they, as long as they hold the 9 seed, the destiny is different. I know it's a tough schedule. I know it's really rough, but if they can maintain that 8 or 9 seed, they're going to have their legitimate opportunity to defend that spot in the play-in.
The play-in tournament, right? Is it just 9? Is it just a 9?
8, the 8 and the 9 seed, assuming that the 9 is not more than 4 games back.
So can it not be? So if the King, if the Suns don't make it to the 9 seed,
they're out.
not going to get a play.
If the Blazers, it's in probably Blazers and Grizzlies. As long as they're not within 4 games back, they will play each other in the play-in tournament.
Interesting. Well, I hope the Suns get it here.
I'd love to see the Suns make it because when they invited the Suns, I'm like, why are they inviting the Suns? They're not good. But
4-0 in the bubble, Zach.
Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Ricky Rubio, Darius Saric. I'm missing another one. I forget. Kelly Oubre. DeAndre Ayton was out for a bunch of the year for the suspension, though, so maybe that was a big factor. The same way that when Yusuf Nurkic came back, they're playing really well in Portland. So I'm excited to see what happens with these teams. It's going to be really exciting.
It's going to be a shocker somehow, some way. Who's the 7th seed in the West? Like
Dallas.
They
already clinched.
Okay, but never mind that.
You thought they were going to fall out?
I thought it wouldn't just be crazy they fall out.
Dallas is a good team, but they're just not.
Call me crazy, but I think the team that's actually going to make it is going to be the Suns.
Really? Who would have thought? That means 2 things, though, that Greg Popovich's playoff streak and J.J. Redick's playoff streaks are going to be over.
Oh, well, streaks are meant to be broken. Like, what else can I tell
That's
you?
all. Yeah, what about the New York Knicks losing streak?
Well, first of all, you did that on purpose. Look, the New York Knicks losing streak will always continue to happen. You know why? Because they have a horrible owner. They have a horrible front office. If I can knock their front office down and rebuild it, I don't think I'll be able to find anyone that wants to work for them because that's how bad they are. They have no future. Okay, RJ Barrett, okay, cool. And you signed Julius Randle in the offseason. You couldn't get Zion, nor you couldn't get Katie or Kyrie. Matter of fact, it's like this is how bad you are. You go 20 minutes across the bridge to Brooklyn, Atlantic Avenue, and play there instead of playing the Mecca, the Madison Square Garden. Please don't get me started, Knicks. It's a Friday. I'm trying to have a fun day today.
Fun fact of the last live basketball game with fans, or not with fans, but before the hiatus started, was in Madison Square Garden with the Big East tournament. They started it till halftime, and then they canceled it halfway through. But
well, see, you got to finish that, though.
At that point, they had no fans or anything. I still remember, we talked about this last week when the NBA did return, but I still remember how the Brooklyn Nets and Golden State Warriors that Friday were supposed to play without fans. And that's what it was going to be moving forward. But once you have a player test positive, Adam Silver put the freeze button down.
Well, if you would have thought the NBA was going to continue throughout, going to the States.
No, March, April, May, it was all.
Yeah, even if the NBA was like, all right, we want to continue playing, what about the States? The States have the last call.
Yeah, so I remember Florida back in April actually said that sports were an essential sport. So that's why they started planning it there, and then they made the announcement in June. And now we're in the NBA season, and Gavin, your pessimism has started to settle with the bubble. Second week in a row, no positive tests.
Good for them. Adam Silver, good for you. I don't know what else.
And now let's go from the best commissioner in the league to potentially the worst commissioner over the Phillies. Zach Eflin looked pretty good yesterday. They had 2 runs on the board. I think no earned runs total, though, on him. But he was pretty good. He had a few strikeouts, a couple strikeouts looking. They won 5-4. Almost had a heart attack at the end of the game. What's new with the bullpen? But they held it down. Hector Neris got the save. JT Realmuto paid the man. He's looking really good. He threw a guy out after a strikeout, so it was a good double play. And he also had a 3-run home run in the first inning. So, Gavin, are the Phillies back on track? They're sitting at 2-3 in the standings, and they play tonight against the Atlanta Braves.
Well, if Joe Girardi, and he did this, he came on the television, the GOAT, my favorite, arguably my second favorite coach, maybe first. Sorry, Dougie P, but right now I got to back my man Joe up. But he came on and said, we're going to get right back on track. And what they do, they went 2 out of 4 against arguably the best team in baseball right now. That's saying something. The bullpen still sucks. Don't think I forgot about them because they're still garbage. Zach, in the last 16 innings or 17 innings, they left 16 runs. Did you know that?
I did.
John Clark, thank you for that stat. But, Zach, That's horrible. That's horrible.
It's a
The
terrible.
ERA is garbage. I was in a group chat with a family group chat yesterday talking about how horrible this bullpen is. It sucks. We need something. Rotations. Zach Eflin looked great, but he has his ups and downs.
He did. Eflin did look good yesterday.
He looked great yesterday. Vince Velasquez. Oh God.
Pivetta came in and had a pretty poor outing.
Well, why is he still up here?
I don't know. They're trying. Him and Velasquez are done here. Yeah, at some point you got to get rid of them and see what you can get.
It's like a fair relationship. You got to go. Fair relationship.
But right now, Spencer Howard is expected to make a start on either Saturday or Sunday. We keep hearing some speculations there.
Oh, for here?
For Philly.
Oh, so he's coming up here.
That's what I keep hearing. But right now.
So wait a minute. My praying and begging worked.
Hopefully. So Joe Girard is listening to us.
So I'm 2 for 2, right? I wanted Robert Covington out of here. Got him out of here. I wanted Spencer Howard up here. I got him up here. So what's next? Firebird Brown?
I don't even know at this point. But going back to it, what we're looking at our rotation starting now, it's going to be Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Jake Arrieta, Zach Eflin, maybe Spencer Howard at the fall. That's a solid rotation.
Spencer Howard.
It's a good start.
If Spencer Howard proves to be one of the best, I think he might move up in the rotation behind Wheeler.
You think jump Nola? I think Noah finds his stride now.
Noah's going to be finding his groove. I think he'll be just fine.
We'll see what happens. We're hoping for the best. So let me pull up here right now. We're taking a look at the schedule for the team. The Phillies played tonight against the Braves. They had success against them a lot of last year, but they're home tonight. A 3-game series.
Yeah, success.
And the Marlins are – hold on. The Marlins are 6-1. How is this happening?
They haven't played in a week.
They played 4 games against the Orioles, and they swept them. And then they play the Mets tonight. Are the Marlins going to be a legit team this year?
No.
Hold on a minute. We're more than 10% through the season. Majority of their team's been on COVID, IR, whatever you want to call it.
No.
And they're 6-1.
No.
In first place in the division.
No.
Are the Marlins a sleeper?
Who had they played?
The Orioles and the Phillies.
Okay. A Phillies team, Zach, and the Orioles.
Hey, the Orioles have been good for the most part. Orioles are second place in their division.
Zach, if you would have told me, Gavin, I need you to go face the Orioles and the Phillies, of course I'm going to be first. Think about it. Come on, man. They haven't played nobody. We played like last year's Orioles. We did play like last year's Orioles. Thank you, Philly. For those who may not know, Matt will be joining us in pretty soon, actually. He's on the host side, holding it down for us, fact checking as always. But Zach, what is I don't see the Marlins are not good. The Magic City Marlins are not good. Magic Marlins
6-1 looks pretty good.
Okay, but Zach, they haven't. You're playing the Orioles.
That's like being 16-2. I'm pretty sure, or something like that,
Yankees.
mathematically.
Go face the Yankees. Go play Boston. What's up with Atlanta? I know you were there before. Go again. Don't go to Magic City this time. Save them MLB. Go face Tampa. They haven't played nobody. What about Toronto? I think Toronto will beat them. What about you?
Are they even playing Buffalo yet, or are they still traveling?
They're getting there. They're getting there pretty soon, I think.
Let's take a look here. So we got one more segment here before we get to our little mask ad plug. We're talking about here, are you buying the hype or not? I'm going to name the top 2 teams in each division. Gavin, we know about the Marlins. What about the Braves?
Yeah, the Braves
9-5.
The Braves are the best offense in one of the best offense in the NL. I don't want to say all baseball because that's wrong, but in the NL, you can't ignore Marcelo Zuna, Acuna, Ozzie Albies, Freddie Freeman. Did I miss anybody? They got a new guy in left field, rising star, and you also got Dansby Swanson.
Still a good team there, and we'll get to see the rotation team. It's going to take a hit, but the Cubs are sitting at 10-3. Gavin, the Brewers in second at 5-5. Are you surprised by the Brewers' step back this year?
I'm not. They lost Moose It's a great bet in their lineup. The pitching wasn't the best, and Christian Yelich is having a bad start to the year. The Cubs got a new manager. Everybody looks healthy. Everybody looks like they want to play and be there. So I'm not surprised by the step back.
All right, and how about the Rockies at 9-3, the Dodgers at 9-4?
This is a team. The Rockies were a team that was in the playoffs 2-3 years ago. Pitching has always been their downfall. You can't argue. Maybe best third baseman in all of baseball. Best in the NL for sure. You also got a hitter-friendly ballpark. You want to talk about ours? Theirs is a high fly ball is really the definition of a home run there.
The thin air.
And then the Dodgers are going to probably run away with the division. And maybe I think the Padres might get a wild card spot this year.
They could. They're looking good. I mean, Arizona's also kind of up there, but they're still a sub 500 team.
Yeah.
All right, the Yankees at 9-3. We know they're good. The Orioles and Rays are both at 5-7. That division's pretty close. Red Sox at 4-8 right now, but yeah, I don't know. I think the Rays pitching eventually really helps accelerate them, but there's not much competition for the Yankees.
No, not one bit. Especially the division you're playing against this year. They're gonna feast off. They're gonna have a great time.
Now, how about the Minnesota Twins? Are you buying them and the Cleveland Indians? Twins are 10-3 and Cleveland is 8-6.
You can't ignore the Indian, not the Indians, excuse me, the Twins. The Twins had the best home run offense last year. They broke the league record in home runs. They added Josh Donaldson to an already stacked lineup. Their pitching, Trevor May, the bullpen, really great. They got a young catcher, Mitch Garver. So this team is really good. Am I buying the hype? I like the chances to come on top. And to go in Indians, I don't really like the Indians that much this year. They don't really have a strong ace. I like Kluber a lot. I don't really believe that much in Shane Bieber and whoever else they have there. I love Carlos Carrasco. Fantastic story, Zach. Just gets diagnosed with cancer, comes back, and just dominates the league for that team. But a team to watch out for is the White Sox.
Yeah, no, the White Sox are looking good. That division's getting competitive as well. The Tigers and Royals sitting at the bottom, nothing new there. But currently right now, looking at the AL West, it was a little tight earlier in the season. It's starting to pull away now. The Athletics are 9-4. Astros are only 500. And the Angels are 5-8, not really getting those dividends after Mike Trout. Speaking of which, happy 29th birthday. But Gaven, Athletics and Astros, I'm sure you're happy the Astros are at 500 and the Athletics are – go ahead.
Here's a hot take. When it's playoff time, the Athletics will be number one. And guess who's sitting at number two, Zach?
Is this Houston?
No. You can't bang on that many trash cans for 60 games, even though they did for 162. It's going to be the Angels. The Angels will be number two in the wild card. Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon. Ohtani can't pitch to save his life, but he can hit. They're going to the playoffs. And I would ignore Texas either. I like Texas as well.
Yeah, it potentially could be good. Other than that, Gavin, currently what we're looking at AL and NL. I know it's very early in the year, but who are your representatives in the ALCS and the NLCS?
I feel like it's going to be between the Yankees and could be Yankees and Twins maybe. And for the NL, it looks like the Dodgers for me. And this is going to hurt me to say. As a Phillies fan, don't kill me in the comments. I gotta go Atlanta.
No, Atlanta's good this year.
Offense and pitching matters, and their bullpen is fantastic.
You know, it's a shame that their pitcher had the injury, but other than that, I mean, I think that
Still pretty good.
I think for me personally, I'm gonna probably say the ALCS. I'm still gonna go with the Yankees and Astros. The Astros are still too good of a team. I know they're at 500 right now, but I know they're gonna turn it around. I know it's gonna upset a lot of people, so I think it's funny. Me personally, I don't want to see them do anything, but going over to the NL, Dodgers definitely are going to be up there. And jokingly, the Miami Marlins, just kidding, they're not going to be up there. But I do think that Washington still has the benefit of the doubt of being defending champions. Atlanta, you say, has a good point, but I think the Brewers and the Astros right now, both teams sitting at 500. I think they're both going to heat up. I think they're both going to turn it around, and their experience is really going to help. Yelich is healthy this year. I mean, unfortunately, last year, his injury really hurt him a lot, but hopefully he can turn it around this year and help him out.
It is gonna hurt. He had Inside Parker last night. That was horrible defense by Elbridge. Did you see that?
I did not see it.
He before we go to our ad plug, the left fielder for White Sox, yells at the ball obviously to left field, and he misplays it and flips into the empty stands.
Really?
Yeah. But luckily the net saved him from going into the stands, and then a horrible throw home, and Yelich is no slow person. He's really tall, so
yeah, you ran. So
you might have to put that video up later, Zach. It's pretty funny.
All right, maybe I'll pull that up during our ad plug, but I'll have to figure that out. With that being said, we are going to be bringing our guest on next to discuss in detail the Ben Simmons injury, as well as the Flyers' consistent success, the best team in Philadelphia definitively. And then finally, we're going to be talking about the Eagles this year and what their expectations are. All that after this. We are now offering a new product on our Teespring. Wear a mask in public. We are now supporting a custom designed mask with our logo on it. Purchase it today, and 10% goes to a foundation of our viewers' choice. It offers a full nose and mouth coverage, single-sided print, includes two 2-inch elastic ear loops, non-medical grade product. And finally, $1 from every mass sale is donated to a nonprofit to feed children in need. Enjoy today's. Would you like to know how you can support the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show? If so, head down to the comments on our YouTube channel. You will see 2 links there. The first is our Teespring, where you can see a wide variety of apparel products, including our signature product, the More Than Philly Sports Talk Show sweatshirts, offered in a variety of different colors, including gray, navy blue, and more. Finally, we have our Patreon page, where you can become a monthly donation member. 10% of all donations go towards an organization of our viewers' choice. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you can't donate, that's okay, because. And so, as we mentioned before, today is the final day here in our second donation. We are supporting a group funding minority entrepreneurs, and it's going to be very exciting to continue with that. So if you have some suggestions in the comments for some other organizations we can donate to either next month or the following month, we'll be making that announcement very soon next week. So we're going to be able to get the donation amount. Last month was Shriners Hospital for Children. This month was the Black and Brown Founders Organization. You can check them out online. Very exciting things they're doing there as we continue to support and utilize our platform the best that we can.
Hey, I'm just going to a great organization that helps out, trying to help minority business owners get a great start to their business. Zach, we're a young business. We know how it is, how tough it is to try to get a little lift off the ground, and we found a spot that helps lift others off the ground. And if you have any places you think will be great for us to donate, let us know. Let us know. You can hit me on my social media as well as Zach's.
Yep.
Matt as well is about to come in here. And on our Facebook and on our Instagram. So let us know if you find any or know a great organization that we could donate to.
You know, it could be anything. Last month, supporting Shriners Hospital, doing a lot of great things down there in Philly. Supporting this month, helping with entrepreneurs in the minority areas. It's just whatever we can do to help.
Anything.
Excellent. So again, some social media channels to help us out. Other than that, we hope you continue to enjoy the show. With that being said, as per our Friday tradition, we are bringing in Matt now. For those who don't know, he does run our Instagram, doing a great job over there. For those who didn't notice, we had one day this week where I had to take over. I tried to do it as best I could, but Matt obviously doing the better work than me. So much appreciated all the work you do. But first of all, how you doing, and welcome to the show today.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
What's going on, Matt?
Yeah, what's up?
Not much, man. Hey, you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. The first thing we're going to talk about today, we broke the news here live on the show yesterday. Ben Simmons out with a pretty significant injury. It's not an ACL tear. It's not a thing that is potentially it could be a season ender, but based on what you know, I've been trying to read as well. I've been reading 4 to 6 weeks. Some people sound more optimistic. I try to stay as unbiased as I can. I wish it's like 2 weeks and he can be back for the first or second round. But Matt, have you seen any additional information, or what are some of your general thoughts on that?
So first off, like the subluxation of like his kneecap is just, so when it's dislocated, it's like completely off the tendon and all that. His is like partially, and I know that I remember seeing a report when he was walking back as well that there was like no inflammation or like redness, which is a very good sign because that means that it probably went right back into place. So like I saw a few comments from like people that have had it before saying like after those like 4 to 6 weeks or however long it takes them, they have to like wear like a knee brace, which may like alter kind of how he plays, as well as like I'm pretty sure you have to take some sort of like painkiller because it's not fun to go through. I believe so. Like the minimum is obviously 4 weeks. But it depends on like his genetics because Patrick Mahomes, I don't know if you remember, he had like the same type of injury. I forget against who, but he had a knee injury like that.
Chargers, I think, maybe.
It was that Broncos Thursday night game. He had a QB sneak that he got hurt on, but he was out for a week or two. He missed the Packers game. He may have missed Packers and Vikings games, and then he came back, and there was a Titans game. They actually lost that. It took him some time to get back. From one thing I read, Matt, and I wonder if you've seen the same thing, there's a big risk of re-injury with this. That's one of the major concerns, not just going back into place, but it's weaker now. So that's one of the concerns.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like he's looking at options like of treatment, and I know they usually say after the first time that it happens to just kind of like ice it and just like have like all these like different types of medicine and pills to take. But I mean, I guess as an athlete, you kind of have to jump right into possibly any type of like surgery or whatever it would take because you don't want to re-injure it because like you're playing the sport. So, I mean, he's gonna have those same movements like he had before. I mean, all he did was like fake a jump shot and plant his knee or his foot into the ground, and
Yeah.
like you can see, he was in pain right away.
And he walked right off. They missed it, he fouled, and then they had to take him off the court. So maybe just like from anything you mentioned, 4 weeks. Do you feel optimistic about him returning this season at all, or do you think for precautionary reasons they might hold him on the sideline? It's not. I don't see it as an all or nothing year like last year. Kind of felt like it because you have two guys on expiring contracts this year. Yeah, the expectations were high, but we know the reality of the situation.
Yeah, I don't. Yesterday, I was like kind of hoping that maybe he could come back, but I mean, when you really like look into it long term, you want to rest him. If you don't have to play him, then don't play him. Like he's a superstar, so you can't put him out there. I mean, this is just such like a weird situation that we're in, being in the bubble, and like there may not be an asterisk next to the championship, but I mean, some people may. So is it really worth it at the end of the day to possibly get him back in there and like hopefully, or not hopefully, obviously, but like I don't want to risk re-injuring that. That's really bad.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good point if it's worth it or not. But Gavin, I'll shift it off to you now.
Well, I want to read this comment. Two of these comments. He said, longer. They're gonna keep him out longer, and they won't rush him back. That is true. That is true. They probably won't do that. Zach, and man, I got off the phone this morning with our great friend of the show, Trent. Trent said, it's one of those things where you want him back, but if he can't come back, like you want him back for playoffs. But it's also at the same time, it's like if you can't come back for playoffs, they're probably gonna be a first round exit. Unless they're facing like a team like the Heat or something where it's not as the level of matchup isn't as difficult. Well, you're going against the Boston Celtics, and I agree with him. But he also said, but we want Ben back as the most healthiest as we can be, like you said, Matt, and Zach. So me, my first initial reaction, it was live. For those who may not know, my own mother had the nerve to say, believe in the process. When at the moment of time, the process kicked me in my gut. So I don't know if I could believe in it at the moment. I'm 24 hours or a little bit over 24 hours, but I want to say this: if we don't win it this year, right, and if we don't make it out of the first round, I will say this: you still have enough time that you could possibly make it out of the first round. You still have Tobias Harris, you still have Joel Embiid, you still a fantastic Joel Embiid, if I may add. You have Al Horford who has to prove something now that Ben is out. So your shots are gonna come a little bit more. You got Shake Milton who can really play the one. Remember, Ben wasn't doing what we thought he was gonna do at the four. The ball was still kind of in Ben's hands. So now you gotta think about it. Now we can now Shake Milton really just run a 2 point guard position and see how that goes. So Matt, what do you think the expectation for the team is now? Do you think we're still making that playoff run, or are we out in the first round?
I don't know if we're out in the first round. I mean, it definitely makes it harder that we're already like one of the lower seeds, so we would have to go against good competition right off the bat. With how Embiid's playing, I still think Boston's probably the good matchup. Tobias would definitely have to step it up. I mean, it's crazy how Philadelphia seems to always have like the next man up mentality because somebody gets injured. I mean, last year every single team, right? Carson got injured. Josh McCown had to come in. I mean, we didn't really step up, but I mean, actually, I think the Phillies kind of stepped up after McCutchen got injured for a little bit, and then Gabe Kapler,
They fell off, yeah.
And then like the Flyers, we lost Oscar sadly, but he's back now. But I mean, it's just everybody gets hurt or something. It's crazy.
No, I mean it's kind of weird seeing the injuries with the other teams in Philly because you always just expect it from the Eagles. I mean, like Joel Embiid, we know like he's always in and out of the lineup, but this is a playoff team that is about to be in the playoffs, and now we're getting the injuries. Like Joel was like preseason stuff like that. Ben was hurt before the playoffs. We thought he'd be back for late in the first round. For those that remember the back problems he was having, assuming that there wasn't a hiatus, but it's kind of weird. I'm not gonna call it funny, but it's definitely weird to kind of imagine like the injuries from like Ben Simmons. we spoke about before on the show, who if we had to choose one player over the other, I said Ben Simmons, not just because he's a great defender, but because he's always healthy. And now he's got 2 injuries this season already. So already starting to screen for some concerns possibly down his career and down the road.
So Zach, we talk about the injury Ben had before. Remember, Ben missed what 3 weeks before,
and he would have missed the rest of the season.
He would have missed the rest of the season
until the playoffs.
So, guys, I think Ben Simmons was on the healthy side of the spectrum coming into Orlando. I know they said he was hitting the gym a lot, but 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the hiatus, and then you got added on the hiatus, and then you got added into a whole new stuff now, and then this happens. I think Ben was already kind of not playing to his potential we always see him at.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that could potentially be of concern. I don't know, but you had 144 days. You pretty much had an off season to get healthy. I think Ben was healthy. I just think he landed funny on his leg. I don't know. It's just could be one of those freak things where it happens. Unfortunately, Klay Thompson tore his ACL on a similar land when he was the one time he just finished at the rim. But
if Klay Thompson doesn't get hurt, the Warriors win that series.
Oh, they probably do. And so, I mean, I think that it's important to think about that. So you don't need to make it. I mean, this isn't a pressing team. There's no one with an expiring contract. You still have Josh Richardson here. I mean, Shake Milton's pretty cheap. Horford, we don't know what's going to happen. It's unfortunate we're not going to be able to see this team's potential if Ben doesn't come back. But let me ask you this, Gavin, and then Matt, you can answer as well. Are you still firing Brett Brown this year if with Ben Simmons not healthy, if he doesn't play at all in the playoffs?
Yes, I am. And here's why. It's not like we don't have no one else on this team. You still have 2 other stars and a star that's on the aging side, and Al Horford. You still got a great 3 guys and a good couple 2 pieces around them that you should be able to at least contend with Boston, maybe make it out of the first round. No, I don't know about that, but contend. But I was calling for Brett Brown's job to be gone anyway, regardless of what he did. His time here is done. And I don't like seeing people get fired. I don't like people losing their jobs because, you don't want to wish on anybody. But this is one of these situations where to stay, it's like Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati. It's too long. It's been too long. They need to go. He needs to go.
I think I'd like him fired, but I just feel like he's not going to, especially just because Ben's not here. I mean, if Ben was here and we didn't make it out of the first round, he would be fired. But they're going to use that as an excuse for sure.
Well, you're right, and as well, but I know you can't use that as an excuse to be fired, but I think it's another thing you can add on to his job. You still have pieces here. It's not like it's no one else here. It's not like it's Joel Embiid the one year where it was Joel Embiid, a whole bunch of other players around him. It is Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and Josh Richardson, and arguably a young Shake Milton. Can't forget about Glenn Robinson, Alec Burton, Kyle Quinn is no slouch. Matisse is only going to get better. So there's no excuse. I want to read this comment. Everyone saw what happened to Carson Wentz when he came back too early from the injury. Wow, that is true. But once again, I think it goes to Carson Wentz it was the physical side of him saying it was ready. I don't think the mental side of Carson Wentz was.
No, he was not. He was not mentally ready coming back. And he was what, week 3 he was back after the ACL injury back in the December before. Klay Thompson didn't even play an entire year after an ACL tear.
Kevin Durant hasn't even played that once, and there was talk about it, but he said, "Nah, I'm good." Like, I just think, like, same thing with, I hate to say this, same thing with Brandon Brooks too. I think he rushed himself back off the Achilles. He played a full year.
That was quick. Like that was
yeah, that was
that's an Achilles tear.
For a guy that has to like plant and push.
I don't know how he came back.
To sustain his weight, and he came back early.
8 months, maybe 7-8 months.
Maybe less than that. I think it was in training camp.
Well, he tore it in the Saints game.
Yeah.
And he was back week 1. He was fine. Now he tore it again, so he's going to take the whole year off. But other than that, anything else anyone wants to chime in on the Sixers side before we move on?
Let me ask you guys, who is your like X factor because Ben isn't here anymore, other than like Joel, because that's kind of obvious, but like a role player like Shake, Josh Richardson, even the bench players.
Tobias needs 35 to 40 a game. Those two, Tobias and Joel, are going to need to combine for 50 to 60, 50 to 70 each game. Both of them have to do that. Tobias needs to show his veteran experience. But Josh Richardson as well really needs to be that. He's shown glimpses of it. The Miami Heat game, the first one, if he can play similar to that. I think I was watching ESPN this morning and I heard they said for LeBron and the Lakers to do well, you only need one role player to go off each night. And so I think that for the Sixers, or not for the Sixers, for the Sixers, I think that you need one role player to go off each night, whether it be Josh, Shake, Furkan, or something like that. I don't know if Furkan's going to be able to play with his defense, especially. I mean, it sucks because the first round, you're not playing Orlando, you're not playing Brooklyn, you're not playing Washington, you're playing the Celtics or the Raptors or the Heat. You're playing a real team the first round. So,
well, Matt, to answer your question, I got two X factors. I'm gonna say Al Horford for one. First of all, Brett Brown, you listen to me. Do not put Al Horford in that starting lineup. I swear I will lose it. Cause that's not gonna work. Okay?
It might work if your point guard is shooting the ball. If your point guard is shooting the ball, it will work.
It might work, but listen, we don't want to. It just might cause some problems. I'm just saying. But I think Al Horford has to be one of it. He doesn't have to be the Atlanta Al Horford that we know or that he was known from. I'm thinking like 15 points, 15 points a game. I want to see 15 points Al Horford at least.
He'll probably play close to 30 minutes, whether it's as a 6-man role or as a 4.
And then as well, Shake Milton. I need 20 from at least Shake Milton.
A lot.
That's a lot to ask him. 15 and versus the Celtics.
If you can give me 15 to 20, I'm just saying we're going to need scorers, guys. We're going to need them. You know that. You know we're going to need scorers. Joel Embiid can't do it on himself.
It's crazy to say though, when Ben didn't play on the floor and like they actually had shooters around Joel, we didn't do that bad.
I think the Clippers game was not Joel was not healthy in that game, was he?
No.
No, but that was a really good game because Brett Brown likes coaching shooters.
Whoa, Brett Brown can coach?
He's going to put Furkan out for like 25 minutes, which is going to make me mad.
Because his defense is just going to be still a liability.
I think, honestly, guys, we're just going to – and Furkan can't play in the –
You can't even play him in the first round because it's not going to be a walk through the park. First round is going to be a 7-game series almost.
I do not want to see Raul Neto on the court versus Boston in the first round.
I feel like I always say this stuff about Furkan, but he's going to end up coming out and drop like 30.
Probably.
You said to me a lot in the places, but you said I'm being a little.
He's their best. He's a legit 40% 3-point shooter.
Yeah, like that's legit. Like Shakes is kind of inflated, but
championships, my guys. Defense wins championships.
That's why we're going to bring JJ Redick back. They thought they wanted to value defense more than shooting.
Yeah, I think JJ Redick came off the bench.
And we'll see what happens from there. Other than that, we are going to shift gears now, talking about the best team in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Flyers. They had another exciting win yesterday, and they played Tampa Bay, this weekend, right, Matt?
Yeah.
And if they win that game, they get the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're guaranteed to be the first or the second seed. Again, we understand that with the home rink advantage isn't really a thing right now. So it's not going to be a huge factor, but they're going to get probably an easier path if they do get the 1 seed. And they're looking really good wherever they end up right now. So, Matt, first of all, from you, and then we'll go to Gavin, some first thoughts on the first 2 games here, the first 2 official games coming out of the hiatus. And then finally, do you feel like they can finally top the Tampa Bay Lightning?
So, like, first thing I wrote down, because I write notes during the game because it's just stuff I like to write down. Nicholas Ade, or I can't even say his name really, but like Nicholas Ade Kubel. I know just Kubel, but he's like pretty short. I'm pretty sure he's like 5'10" or something like that. And if you don't know who Tom Wilson is, he's like a fighter for the Caps. You have this little guy, Kubel, run him into the boards. Like, I didn't think that the Flyers team was that physical, especially the young guys. So it's like really cool to see that, and it gives me like more confidence because you have to be physical to win against teams like Boston, like the Capitals, because they have like those fighters and those guys who are just always going to be a pain. Like Brian Elliott, he had a great game. Kevin Hayes, like that line with him, Travis Konechny, and Scott Lawton, that's the best line that I've seen in a while because like they just constantly score. They scored every single goal yesterday. Scott Lawton had 2 goals. Travis Sanheim had a goal. And they just like owned the Capitals. The score may like be like, oh, it's kind of close. It really wasn't. We owned them that entire game.
No, I agree. They looked like a really good team against a team that's just 2 years separated from winning the Stanley Cup. So now they'll play Tampa this weekend. We'll see if they can finally overcome that hump against them, and they could be the top seed at that point. So I think for this team, because it's just a really strong reflection on how good they've been, because they were they were good all year. They weren't at the point where they could have if they kept going the way that they were, get the 1 seed organically. But I think that this does do justice for how good the Flyers are because they're facing off against the best teams and they're right up there with them.
Mm-hmm. I know. I think. Yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh is about to get eliminated by Montreal, which is crazy to think about.
Would that mean they get the first pick though?
If they do, I'll be so mad.
So it's like a lose-lose.
Yeah.
It's like a lose-lose.
I said that. Yeah, we have like 4 teams in the Metro that aren't like the Capitals and the Flyers who could drop out right now. They got the first and second pick last year. Now they could get this generational guy in Lafreniere. It's crazy.
Well, I know we're about to be even more mad at Pittsburgh if they lose. I don't know when the game is, but whenever they lose again, we're gonna be mad. Speaking of Flyers and the best, do you think there will be a team marching down Broad Street this year, and everybody will be on Zoom watching?
Yeah, and I think it's the Flyers.
You think the Flyers? So let me ask you. So, what would be your dream playoff picture path for the Flyers? Who would you want to face to ensure that they win this?
The only team that it's hard because if we end up beating Tampa, then I think I don't really care who we go against. I think we could beat them anyways. Tampa's the only one I'm still kind of worried about.
So if we win tomorrow versus Tampa, and that's the game. Tomorrow's the game, right?
Yeah.
If we win tomorrow versus Tampa, let's say the score is 3-1. What is the feeling or the impression you'll be giving off the next time you're on the show about that win?
I'll probably be buying a Flyers jersey this weekend. If that's true.
Flyers players, I'll buy a shirt. It'll be a shirt.
I'll buy a Carter Hart.
My Carter Hart jersey. But if it's 3-1, it depends how the play is. If we dominate them like we did with the Capitals, then I would be confident. But if it's kind of back and forth, it could just be one of those games that we just had a very good game. I don't know if I like being in a series against them. I don't know. It's so weird that I'm only worried about them, but it's like every Flyers fan as well.
They're a great team.
Can't ignore them, even though they got the NHL last year of being bounced out in the first round
by the Blue Jackets.
I'm not gonna lie. If we lose tomorrow, I don't know if I would be that mad because if we get the 2nd seed, I'm pretty sure Columbus is gonna be the 8th seed, so they could face them again, possibly.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And maybe
maybe we'd have to play them, then we have to beat them. Show Tampa how it's done.
Yeah.
Show Tampa. Okay, there it is. Show Tampa how it's done. But Oscar Lindblom. Hopefully I said that right. He plans on playing a playoff game. What's the feeling around that?
I can't even put words to that. It's crazy what he went through and how he's already back. It's dedication and he pretty much said the reason that he signed here is because of the support that he got. So I don't know. It's crazy.
It's a great story. The storyline's great, and so the hiatus really gave him an opportunity to bounce back and be able to get strong again. He finished his treatment up. It's a great story, and it would really be a fantastic ending to what has already been such a phenomenal season for the Flyers.
Oscar strong.
I would want him to score a goal in the playoffs. That'd be amazing.
That'd be probably the greatest for anyone. I said, I try to watch. I try to keep track of it, but I imagine even for me, and I'm not the most passionate fan, anyone that has watched this and understands the story that he's been through, it would be a very emotional goal if he's able to have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. If there's an empty net in the playoffs, we definitely have to put him on. See if he can get that.
Hopefully so. We'll have to see. Gavin, anything else you want to add?
On the Flyers, and no, I just hope the boys can do it. I just hope they can do it, take care of it, and hopefully just bring us a championship to the city. It's been a while since the Eagles are the last one we had.
That was exciting too. See Nick Foles catching touchdown passes. But now we're just going over some top stories here. DeAndre Baker is facing 4 charges of robbery with a firearm, but Quentin Dunbar is not facing any charges. So good news for the Eagles, I guess, not facing him. But the Seahawks are going to be – Quentin Dunbar is getting off, so the Seahawks are going to keep being strong. But Other than that, I know that was a little off topic. We are going to shift gears, though, to the Eagles. We'll keep talking about the Flyers and updating as we progress with that. But just a final few minutes here, all the photos and working out, all the Eagles. We're starting to get excited for the season. So I'll ask you this first. How confident are you that the Eagles can have a season this year?
I'm not that confident. Roger Goodell, he hasn't really done. I mean, these like things that they want them to do. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy because you always see if you watch a bubble game for the NBA, they always like zoom out and show you the place around it. There's like football fields, baseball fields. I don't get why they can't do a bubble either.
That place is like perfect for like this exact situation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason why they can't do it is because Roger Goodell is arguably the worst commissioner of all sports. Hello, Rob Manfred. You're knocking on the door as well. You guys can probably room together because how bad you guys are. But the things that he was asking them to do, wear tracking devices like ankle bracelets. Are they in jail? They're not in jail. They're free men.
But I told you why they're doing that, though.
I get it, but like if you got to think about it, like the NBA was doing wristbands.
But those wristbands aren't to track you; those are to make sure that you've had your test that day.
Yeah, that is just to see if you've been around. Like somebody tests positive for COVID, they want to see if you were around them.
Well, I'm just saying, like I just think a tracker that's a little far.
It's already in your phone. Your phones are getting tracking you.
Yeah, but I'd rather let my phone. Well, I don't know.
Well, if you're not wanting to do that, then you really can't be getting mad at the NFL for positive cases because players are being irresponsible.
But to go back to the original
just
question,
no Magic City.
Yeah. Well, going back to the original question, I don't see the season happening. If you cancel the most harmless thing, which is jersey swapping, what do you think I can go tackle someone for 60 minutes?
Hey, so Darius Slay said.
So. Man, I'm on your side. There's no way the season happens. The same thing with college football. Their football season's not happening. You can't even get the kids onto the campus safely.
Yeah, they expect them to play and tackle and all that.
And travel to other states. And it's like the PIAA here in our state.
They just recommended that January 1st is the start of sports.
So I think football may be canceled this year. Or maybe brought back to a later date.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, but now I can't play golf this year. I'm upset.
Well, exactly. You can play golf whenever.
That's true.
We know you're going to the same trip anyway.
All right, but other than that, we do have one more question here for you, man. If we do have an NFL season, that's a big if. Mm-hmm. What do you see as this team's ceiling record, and what do you see as their floor record?
Oh, God. Eagles are such a hard team to do that for. Because it's either they're on or they're off. There's no in between.
If they're healthy or they're injured.
I'm thinking like 12-4 down to 8-8, somewhere in that range.
Oh God, I think like maybe 10-6. No, 11-5 to like 7-9.
It is a tough schedule this year. You're playing the NFC West and you're playing the AFC North.
I'm on a range of 10. No, maybe 12. No, excuse me, that's biased. 11-5 to 8-8.
The Cowboys are going 8-8. That's all I know.
Cowboys are going 7-9.
No, they're a 500 team.
A lot of people mad saying that.
We'll just see what happens. We're all hoping for the best. We'll have to continue to get updates on the NFL as we progress, the most dysfunctional sport outside of baseball right now. Bubbles are 2-0 right now. They seem to work. Hockey and basketball so far. So, with that being said, thanks for being on. Good wrap up. Good wrap up to week 9. 45 shows in. We should next week start picking up with some pre and post game shows for different sports. Gavin, you have anything else you want to touch on?
Next week, we're actually for you guys it won't be any different, but for us, we're moving locations. Our platform.
Our software, yep.
We're moving on to another software that's going to allow us to stream the same two we're doing. Also, Twitch, put on Apple Pod. Anything else I'm missing, Zach? Stitcher, Google. It's gonna be
easier. It's gonna be easier for me to be able to put the videos up for the ads instead of having to manually do it. So it's gonna be fun. We're excited to see how the new software is. We would appreciate some feedback as we continue to increase our professionalism. Same way to join for those who have joined in the past. You get the link, you press it, you're in. So it's pretty easy to do. But other than that, I'm really excited moving forward.
And remember, if you guys want to be on the show, you guys want to talk Sixers. I know our post game is coming up for Sixers.
Yep.
And Flyers and.
We're gonna do a call. We're gonna do a hotline,
and we're gonna do a hotline. You gotta keep it somewhat clean, but I know a hotline's. You say whatever you want, but all in all, I'm excited. But we appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Week 9 weeks in, week 10 coming next week. Jack, you ready?
I'm ready for it. Matt, anything else you want to say before we wrap up today?
Nope.
Follow us on Instagram.
All right,
Okay.
thanks so much, everyone, for being
Stick
on.
around, Matt.
See
And
ya.
we'll be back on Monday at 12 o'clock. But until then, have a great weekend. Let's go Phillies. Let's go Flyers. Let's go Sixers. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. In addition, hit that bell icon and set it to all to get reminded of when we